Bob, thanks for joining us. It's great to see you.
Great to see you.
So there's a lot of misleading headlines going on about this. A jury found Trump liable for battery and defamation in a civil trial, though he still denies their allegations. Now, I also have a hard time believing Trump truly received a fair trial. But what are your thoughts on this case, Bob?
Well, I'll take Trump out of it for a moment, the personality, excuse me, of Donald Trump. The trial was tried before a judge who's very well regarded. The judge actually bent over backwards and gave courtesies and leniency for Trump to even come in after the defense had completed its case. That's an accommodation that is not made often by a judge. So I think the judge is going to be pretty sound on the law. There was one issue that I found interesting that could come back on an appeal. But listen, I mean, we get to a place now in the last 7 or 8 years where we talk about every trial being unfair. There were 9 jurors. It was a unanimous verdict. Whether you like the verdict or don't like the verdict, it will have an opportunity to have an appeal. But not every trial is unfair because you don't like the outcome or the result. So, I mean, I saw one thing, if you want me to talk about that, that I felt was not fair to Donald Trump in the case, and that could be a basis for appeal. I'm not sure how far it would go with an appellate court, but you let me know if you want me to talk about it.
Yeah, go for it. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, but there was a lot made about the fact that he didn't show up for the trial. And you do not have to show up for your trial. You have a right not to. It's not good not to show up for your trial because it's a bad look before the jury. And you may even be able to comment on the fact that the person didn't show up for trial. But I felt that it was emphasized to such a level that you have to remember that when evidence comes into a courtroom, it has to be relevant. And relevant means that it tends to prove or disprove an element of what the case is about. And the fact that he didn't show up there, which was his right to do it, again, I felt was just hammered to such an extent that it really was appealing to the emotional pieces to the jury as opposed to something that tends to prove or disprove an element of the civil case that was brought. So I saw that as being problematic. I was surprised the judge let it go to that level. But on appeal, remember, it's not a redo. The appeal is the court's looking at it to say, was there a violation? Did the judge make a mistake on purpose, accidentally, whatever it may be? But moreover, you have to go over another hurdle. You have to show that that would have palpably changed the outcome of the result. And so if I were appealing for Donald Trump, I'd be appealing on that issue that it unfairly attacked him for something that he had a right to do. It was emphasized over and over and over again, and it tended to prejudice the jury. So that's where I see an out. Most legal experts that will be opining about this will tell you that if it was an error, it will be an error that the appellate courts will overlook because they will say that it was the deposition and her testimony and the deposition that corroborated her testimony that were the important factors in the case. We'll have to wait to see.
Very interesting. It'll be great to see how that one pans out. We'll be staying tuned to that one. Now, Tiger Woods is getting a very strange blast from the past. This is kind of a weird lawsuit, but I know you have more info on it. Can you shed some light on what's going on this one?
Well, apparently he's dating this woman for a number of years. I'm not a Tiger Woods follower, but from the articles that I read, and they broke up. And he essentially, I think there's a lot of bad feelings, hurt feelings in the manner in which it was done. At some point in time, there was an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, that was Tiger Woods, she claims, forced her to sign. And she basically is saying that, well, we had an oral contract that I would be allowed to live in his $54 million estate for 11 years. And he basically gave me the bum's rush out. He put me on a plane, ostensibly that we were going on a vacation. And when I took off, I'm not knowing it, he broke up with me through his lawyer, and I was not allowed back on the estate. So this lawsuit's got non-disclosure agreement issues, which she said was fraudulent. She wants that non-disclosure agreement to be thrown out. And I guess she wants some rights to be able to go back to the property and some damages. I don't see this lawsuit in a million years. If that were true, people like me, you, and everyone else in the world that has a bad breakup would be liable for damages because somebody doesn't like the fact that somebody broke up with them. I don't see the suit.
Well, I guess that would be a smart move if we could get away with it, but we'll see how it all ends up.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.